Let's get it. Welcome to the Royal Chess Lounge. It's your King Troy, man. We having some fun. I love chess, and you love chess too if you're watching this video. So come hang out with me. Let's get to it. Let me get my do-rag right. Hold up. You know what I'm saying? All right. So what we about to do today is turn up. You already know how I go. You know what? Let's skip the intro. Let's get straight to the Let's get straight to the We're skipping the intro today. We're getting straight to the We're getting straight to the Oh, what's this one? Inbox? Let's get out the inbox. Let's get to play, y'all. Let's get to the I know what you came to see. We know see. Going for 900 equal. Two right now. I've been going up. And I need to get to 920. I mean, I need to get to 900. I will get to 900. I will get to 900. This guy pretty aggressive here. I like it though. I like that. I got my salmon and veggies. This my late night dinner. Y'all know how I give it up. But I will stay focused. Oh Lord of Jesus' name. Amen. What you got, bruh? Who we playing? I'm not even gonna try to pronounce that, but where you from? Egypt. Shout out to Egypt in the building. We love Egypt. Shout out to Egypt in the building. What am I eating, y'all? It's my late night dinner. I'll come down here and take this. Go ahead. Come on, bro. Hey, guy. You want to trade? Oh, he killing me on time. I gotta stay focused. Oh, he whooping me on time. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. I just take it. No, no, no. I'm not gonna trade. If he tried to trade queens, I don't want to trade queens. All right, bro. I'm not playing this. I'll get back on time. I gotta get back on time. He's beating me on time. I gotta move quicker. Let's go, baby. Yeah, let that clock run down. Good job. There we go, baby. Put some pressure on him. Put some pressure on him. We on the road to 900, y'all. We on the road to 900. Can we get it tonight? I ain't playing that much games tonight, but we could. We back up on time now. You saw the tables turn? I see how them tables turn. After this, we're gonna do some training. Might give up. Oh, good move. He don't want it to end. All right, baby. Hey, let's get it. Let's get it. He blundered a couple of pieces. He was doing good. I mean, the blunders, man. The blunder, man. It's just, you could be so good at the game of chess. Just make little mistakes, man. That was a good game. He blundered that piece right there. And he blundered this piece right here. Oh, I didn't peep that. I had a steal right there. That was a bad move. Blunder. Then he blundered again right here. Watch this. Blunder. And that was pretty much the game. But shout out to my man right here, yo, in Indonesia. That was a good game. Appreciate the love. Appreciate you tapping in, man. Let's go. Let's go back to the World Cup. Let's go back to the Esports World Cup with Magnus and HIKARU. In the Magnus and Ali Reza joint. So let's go ahead and tap in. Let's go ahead and tap in with them. Let's get to it, y'all.
We can now reveal that the process is complete, and the player who will play black in the Armageddon game is HIKARU Nakamura, who doesn't just win to the 6-minute territory, he bid 6 minutes and 12 seconds. He absolutely was determined to play with the black pieces here, and that gives him draw odds.
Wow, that is a statement that shows confidence. He just won a game with the white pieces on demand, not backing himself and being so insistent that he takes black, backing himself to hold the draw, but taking only 60% of his opponent's time. Wow, will he regret that, Tanya?
In the last game we watched with Magnus and Ali Reza, they had the heart rate. I'm going to guess they have it here as well. And Magnus' heart rate really didn't go over 90 until towards the end of the game. Ali Reza was at like... So let's just see if he got the same cool. Obviously, it's the semifinals. We all know he won. But let's go ahead.
6-12. That is insane. That is nuts. That's absolutely desperate to get the black pieces. We've spoken about this, here at the EWC. Anything below 7. How low can you go? Anything below that mark should not be legal. If anyone can do it, it's got to be the speed monsters. It's got to be the speed demons, right? HIKARU Nakamura is one of the players who can pull it off. Needs only a draw to book his spot into the finals. But will it be too less of a time to make that happen?
You have to imagine that if any players can do it, it'll be one of the Team Falcons players who are the fastest with...
Bro, He looked calm. He looked calm. His heart rate is at a $130. Ali Rezas didn't even hit a $120. He was at like a $118. Magnus is chilling. This game is crazy, bro. My boy heart rate is at 130.
The mouse here, arguably. So here we go. This is the Armageddon game. King's Indian defense being deployed.
King's Indian Part 2 after HIKARU won earlier with the black pieces in this opening. And we see the bayonet attack here from Magnus Carlsen, one of the most trendy variations in this opening. Blocked center, white playing on the queen side, black most likely later playing on the king side. Game, but quick moves from HIKARU. He's only spent a few seconds up to this point.
And after this sudden death Armageddon, a key will be crushed. Will it be Team Liquid's or will it be Hikaru's key right now? There is so much that rides on this final Armageddon of the day. And Hikaru does what King's Indian defense requires. He's got the pawn storm going on that right flank towards Magnus's king. This is game on. It starts looking scary, this position. F4, G5, 8-6, all of that coming up the board.
Now, the Black Pawn Storm, as we call it, the King's Indian trademark. HIKARU looks locked in, looks super focused. And Magnus is the first to go into the tank. He's burned over a minute of his time. He asked for this opening. Very brave from Magnus this time to go into an opening he's already lost in this match. But there we go. The White Knight jumping forward is another typical motif in this opening.
Also typical of Carlsen. You lost opening, that's fine. I want another go. I want another bite at the cherry. I want to make things right. He's not afraid of that challenge.
He's not afraid, and it looks like if you go by the evaluation bar, it's a great opening decision by him what he's gone. But usually in the King's Indian defense, the evaluation bar does not tell the full story. It very often gives an advantage to white, but the position is so complex, so dynamic, where black's going for the attack, white aiming for that E6 square, ideas on the queen side. David, how often have we seen the evaluation bar be completely wrong from a human perspective in this opening?
Exactly. It's deceptive. We'll ignore the eval bar for the next few moves unless it swings massively in either direction. This is the one opening that computers, that AI and others were still struggling to understand up until recently, always giving white an advantage due to the extra space, the D5 pawn as the spearhead. But Magnus forced back with his forced into the retreat. HIKARU now stepping back with his rook. It's the clock times that tell a lot about this story. It is HIKARU's style. He's an attacker by heart, by nature. Magnus doesn't like defending these positions. And
he's coming in with those pawns next, right? 8-6 was only setting up F4 and G5. Magnus denies that. He goes for the trade of those pawns. Pawn takes pawn on the board, recaptured by the knight. But this does leave a beautiful E4 post for Magnus's knight to jump into.
Remember as well, HIKARU started with 6 minutes and 12 seconds. Magnus Carlsen with 10 minutes. So HIKARU has used less than half the time that Magnus has, but he has to keep this up for the entire game.
Yeah, it's not going to be easy. I was shocked actually.
He basically gave Magnus a head start. I mean, that's tough with anybody, but against Magnus Carlsen.
That HIKARU took on F5 with his knight. They do say that every schoolboy knows you should take back on F5 with your pawn to establish a beautiful pawn center, much more fluid, much more mobile there. And especially against Team Liquid, you want that fluid pawn structure. And here, look at this, the white knight installed brilliantly in the middle of the board. Magnus, I think this is a huge step in the right direction for him. The last few moves, he's going to be very happy with.
Complete control of the light squares in the middle of the board. He lines up the queen, a battery there. Bishop takes knight. Now another piece replaces that central square. HIKARU, meanwhile, sets up a battery on the F line. The queen and the rook lined up. Ideas of the knight jumping to H4 to trying to deflect that defender on F3.
One of the great challenges in this world is knowing enough about a subject to think you're right.
Magnus covers the central D4 outpost. HIKARU steps forward. He's playing this like a must-win, even though a draw is sufficient. That's a great attitude. He wants to be aggressive, as he was talking about earlier in the day. The white knight felt it was redundant on that F3 square. It's relocating, going to jump forward to hit the black queen. Still very cagey stuff. Magnus still with a 3-minute time advantage, though, and a bit of a mistake from HIKARU. The black rook sliding to the wrong side of the board. Knight g4 in the air.
And it comes in, it hits the queen. There are big ideas. The queen needs to stay connected to that black knight. It moves back to f8.
Wow, apparently there's a brilliant tactic that gives Magnus a huge advantage in this position. It's difficult, it's hidden, it's unlikely to appear. I'm going to say for a human in a situation like this, tough. But bishop takes pawn on e5, bang, blowing open the center.
Wow.
And after a recapture, the white rook is going to slide across, pinning the black knight, just like Hikaru pinned his knight in the previous game. White is going to win back the material that he just sacrificed with interest. Is Magnus going to find this?
I want to know who is doing the commentary for this, because they are very knowledgeable, and I want to know. You know how, like, in basketball games or in football games, you got announcers. A lot of them used to play the game. I'm sure these people are pretty good, but I want to know if they've ever been on any of these stages.
That is the key. This would be the continuation of the variation that he would need to see at the very end, with a knight fork, winning the black queen, emerging with a couple of extra pawns. Magnus misses it. Queen to d3 instead. Missed opportunity by the world number one, Hikaru, probably breathing a sigh of relief.
That was a long line to calculate, and especially that maneuver at the end by the knight winning the queen. You know, someone taps Magnus on the shoulder, tells him there's something in the position, he finds it. But to realize that this is the critical moment, that something exists, is the hardest part about chess. Instead, Magnus going the wrong way, another inaccuracy on the board.
It's something so difficult to see in the moment as well. And here we go. We have a little bit of liquidation on the queen side of the board. The rooks have been swapped off on the A file. There is no longer a pawn there. And now we've got white potentially taking the pawn on b6 at the end of that sequence.
Yeah, Magnus can swoop now. The white rook is poised, as we see Hikaru actually pre-moving, expecting Magnus to take the knight in the center of the board instead. But why is he hesitating? There we go. Magnus CARLSEN takes. Be careful. There are some forks in the air. Black is threatening to play rook takes bishop, followed by a nasty knight fork. That would be a winning tactic. Magnus needs to get out of that. He needs to sidestep with his king or defend the e2 square with his rook. Anything else, Hikaru might take this game.
And the time situation is beginning to get better and better for Hikaru Nakamura. He's down to 4 minutes flat. Magnus CARLSEN, though, 5:45. Yes, he's still ahead, but that difference between those two times, which started at nearly 4 minutes, is now closer to 1.
But Magnus needs to be super careful. He could be lost in one move. He needs to find a good way to stop this trap that has been set up. He moves his king, sidesteps any forks, and there we have Hikaru Nakamura with his decision, stepping in with the rook to the second rank, now threatening a checkmate in one. Queen takes pawn. Fight is on. Magnus on the defense.
Checkmate threatened. Magnus needs to defend against this, needs to hold the gate. He retreats his knight. Not a happy move. The knight misplaced on the first rank, but out of necessity there. Long-term, Magnus is doing very well. Strategically, Magnus has the advantage. If he can get the queens off, he's loving life. Hikaru, though, going on the attack yet again, creating threats. And wow, Hikaru's trapped his own rook. The white queen retreating. That black rook has no escape squares.
He missed it. He completely missed the shot. And Magnus on top of things. He knows it. Queen takes rook. You've got nowhere to hide. If you put that on e2, bishop takes knight. Get rid of the defender. You have no time to capture the knight on d1, Hikaru Nakamura. What a miss. Rook b8 coming in as well. It's not only attacking the queen, but about to win Hikaru's queen, and Hikaru panicking there.
It's all gone for Hikaru Nakamura in the space of one move. It was a very attacking position, a very
got nowhere to hide.
But out of necessity there. Long-term, Magnus is doing very well. Strategically, Magnus has the advantage. If he can get the queens off, he's loving life. Hikaru, though, going on the attack yet again, creating threats. And wow, Hikaru's trapped his own rook. The white queen retreating. That black rook has no escape squares.
He missed it. He completely missed the shot. And Magnus on top of things. He knows it. Queen takes rook. You've got nowhere to hide. If you put that on e2, bishop takes knight. Get rid of the defender. You have no time to capture the knight on d1, Hikaru Nakamura. What a miss. Rook b8 coming in as well. It's not only attacking the queen, but about to win Hikaru's queen. And Hikaru panicking there.
It's all gone wrong for Hikaru Nakamura in the space of one move. It was a very attacking position, a very promising position, one he would have enjoyed. But this double attack, very sneaky there from Magnus CARLSEN, has just one material. Now the black rook drops off, exchange up, rook for knight.
But he will fight on with the queen, knight, and bishop around the white king. Magnus has to go on the attack. Otherwise, Hikaru's queen's about to come in on h2, threatening some big checks.
And you can see the mentality from Hikaru, that champion's mentality. He slumped in his chair when he realized that was a big mistake, and he got back up within a fraction of a second, and he was instantly calculating, what can I do next? How can I still make something out of this game?
It's still so complicated. Magnus has a very narrow path here to victory. His bishop is attacked. Black queen is super active. He needs to slide back. Great defensive move there, hitting the black bishop, defending with the white bishop, and setting up some checks. The white bishop hoping to slide into h7, forcing Hikaru back with his bishop. We saw Hikaru almost banging the table there. Look at the eval bar. Magnus is winning. White is winning, but can he put the finishing touches on? It's 4.5 minutes under 3 minutes now.
Chess right here. I love it. I just had to stop and say that.
Still anything possible?
Exchange up, simplification here, favoring the player who's currently ahead, Hikaru.
And they both, like, you can see, man, the emotion in Hikaru, man. Look at the heart rate. Magnus is at $121 in the championship game. He barely got over 100. So Hikaru is giving him a run for his money, but Magnus, man, more than the other
more
guy.
And more frustrated as he sits because he has fewer pieces with which to create the complications that he so desperately wants and needs in this game.
But Magnus Carlsen is the one who is playing for the win here. He goes in with a check. And now look at that beautiful move. Retreats the bishop. Once the king is disconnected from the bishop, he disconnects the queen from that dark squared bishop. Rook takes bishop is the big threat. Hikaru Nakamura, is he giving up?
Hikaru looks devastated. He's going to slide his king across to defend the bishop. The white rook is perfectly placed. The white bishop perfectly placed. All Magnus needs to do is bring in his queen. But Hikaru looks so frustrated, giving up hope. Where is the finishing blow? Magnus looking for it with 4 minutes left. Hits the black queen. He's going to kick her away. And now he's going to give a check with his bishop. The black king has nowhere to go. The white queen poised to swoop in. And that might just spell the end. Hikaru gets ready to resign. Checkmate incoming. It's going to end here and now.
GG. Magnus Carlsen, in an incredibly thrilling armor game, pounces on the mistake immediately after. Counter challenge for both players, and he edges this thrilling contest to make it into the grand final of the Esports World Cup to face off against Alireza Firouzja. What an incredible match from both of these amazing competitors.
What a battle this was, and the rivalry gets settled one more time. Magnus Carlsen, after the thrilling fight, comes out on top. Edges Hikaru Nakamura in a crazy Armageddon where you have to say it was a Magnus Carlsen show. He got his opportunity, and in the end, finding the right checks, finding the right...
I did a review on one of the other games, and I think Magnus won that one. Now I'm motivated. Let's go. We getting back up to 900. I'm at 830, y'all. I'm at 830. Y'all see when I first started, I was playing. I think the highest I got was at like 845. Not the highest in general, but like recently. So let's go ahead and get a new game, man. Let's go ahead and tap in. Who we playing? My boy Torque 1011 from the USA, man. Let's go, bro. Let's get to it, baby. What was that? Turning up, man. We going to 900, bro. And once we get to 900, we gonna celebrate. I mean, we gonna celebrate. Let's get it, baby. Face me now. I love a good chase down. I respect it. Chase down, walk down. I'm anticipating what we doing. Oh, you want to be the bigger man? Hey, baby. So far, man. Shout out to my boy Torque in the building. A good game so far. He had 831. I'm at 830. Nobody trying to go on the 830. Let's get it. It's a good game. We doing, baby. Let's go. Ooh. Let's get it, man. What you gonna bring that pawn down? B4? Wait. Got him. Got him. Got him. Got him. Unbelievable fork. Bam! I know that hurt, boy. Oh, oh, oh. Shout out to my boy Talk, man. Shout out to Talk. But I seen it coming. So as soon as he moved his piece, how long did I have that sitting there? Okay, so boom, I got right here. Soon as that happened, I put my hands up because I'm like, if this guy move, it's over. It's over. So we was tied up until this point. I had one extra pawn. We were tied. I was winning by 40 seconds, and he made the dangerous mistake of going down here, taking a pawn, and then damn. He was a good sport. Shout out to my man. All right, yo. So that was a good game. We at 838, y'all. We on the road to 900. I was gonna do some training. Let's do some training. Then we're gonna play one more. You heard? Let's do some. Let's do some training. Who we want to learn from today? Let's see if they got some tips on chess.com. some quick tips that we could use. ChatGPT, I gotta get on this ChatGPT 5, man. These people is talking about playing ChatGPT. See if we can find. Oh, let's see if we can find something. .com. Let's go to a playlist on chess.com.
You wake up late, have an unhealthy breakfast, you finish the gym early. That's right, I know what you're doing. And if this is you, then...
Welcome, everybody. This is GM Daniel Naroditsky. In this series, I'll be taking a look at some questions and pieces of advice that circulate on the internet and offering my thoughts on them. Let's jump in.
How to make plans in middle game? This is a question that every single chess player is constantly asking me. How do I make plans?
I think a clarification is in order here. I think when most people new to chess think of plans, they think that a GM sits down and they know what, they know 30 moves ahead, exactly what they're going to play. And they know my knight's going to go from H1 to A8 on move 40. But that's not the reality. I would say the average length of a plan in chess is something like 2 or 3 moves. Like just getting your knight from G1 to
I feel like I could be the
is already a
grandmaster.
plan. So don't think of this as some sort of large scale thought process where you're thinking 10, 15 moves ahead. That does happen very rarely, but a plan is nothing more than just a maneuver or a very small operation. So it's not as grandiose of a term as you might think it is.
Number 4, learn from the old masters. Throughout my career, I feel that it's been very useful, but most of all, very interesting to read about how chess has developed over the years and to look at the games.
The phrase old masters is used pretty commonly by chess players, and as a player or a chess enthusiast who's newer to the game, you might wonder, does that refer to chess players who lived in the 1400s, in the time of the Mesozoic era, or, in the 1970s? Because old is a very, very relative term. And at least I don't think there's a set definition, but I think old masters generally refers to the world champions and the leading players who came, something like 1950 and before. So think Alexander Alekhine or Wilhelm Steinitz, the first world champion, and even Mikhail Tal, who was world champion in the 60s, can be lumped in that category. So there's no set definition. It just means the world champions and the top players who came before us and who represented a different era of chess development. Okay, to be honest, and I've heard this type of advice that I would put in the category of just like general psychology, and it's good to have the right mindset. It's good to be confident, but at the same time to not underestimate your opponent. At the same time, if you're a newer player, I would say you need to focus on what's happening on the board, and you need to try to implement very concrete pieces of advice. Like it's much easier to implement don't double your pawns or keep your king safe than it is like implement tactics over strategy. So yes, definitely very good to respect your opponent, not overestimate him, but I would say focus on implementing more actionable things on the chessboard.
Rule number 3, don't push your kingside pawns.
This reminds me of an old anecdote that my first chess coach shared. It's like one of those Soviet chess stories. The rumor goes that the world champion Tigran Petrosian was giving a simul, and he was playing same amateur, and he was the last man standing. And Petrosian barely won. And after the game, Tigran asks the guy, and you played so well for someone who only knows chess for 2 weeks, but one immodest question, why didn't you move your knights the whole game? And the guy said, I just haven't learned how to move them yet. So don't move your kingside pawns. I think that has to be qualified a little bit.
The question is, how to punish mistakes by your opponent?
Man, I really wish I knew that. I'd probably be world champion.
This is a pretty general question, and here's how I'm going to answer it. I need you all to start thinking about mistakes in a different way, because mistakes can happen in a one-move situation. It's just a one-move blunder, a loss of a piece. your opponent gives it away and you don't see it. Like, for example, just the dumbest example I can possibly give you, the 4-move checkmate, right? Like, that is how you'd punish if they didn't see it, by doing it. That's it. But there's also something not as dramatic. And in all your games, trust me, you're missing these opportunities. Both of you are, like, whatever level you are.
When you're a beginner, the focal point is always just to make sure that you're not blundering pieces and that you're taking pieces that your opponent is offering. That should be your complete focus until you're, about 900, 1000, and you've stopped committing, regular one-move blunders. And at that point, you can start focusing on not committing more subtle types of mistakes, which I think Levy is about to talk about. What is it? What does a mistake that's not a blunder look like?
This rule is that rooks like to be on open files and they like being connected. What that means exactly, so if I played rook b8 with black, this is what we call a semi-open file. A file is a vertical line on the board.
And in Russian, a file is literally referred to as a line. So good way to remember what a file is.
So an open file is when there's absolutely no pawns on it. A semi-open is one pawn. On this file, on c8, we would call it a closed file because there's more than one. There's 2 pawns. For files of the rook, the pieces don't matter. So bishops, rooks, queens, kings, they don't matter. Only pawns, because pawns are less likely to change files unless you're capturing and trading pawns. Putting your rooks on semi-open files is an easy way to activate them. And here's an example of how you would connect your rooks. If I move my queen here, they're now defending each other. Well, this doesn't seem like it makes a huge difference because you only moved your queen 1 square. It makes it easier to take out the other rook. So now black could maybe bring his rook up and double his rooks. Now both of his rooks are on the game. They're in a semi-open file and they're much stronger. So this is the ideal way to develop your rooks. Of course, once you finish your opening development.
And doubling your rooks means putting both of them on the same file. I wouldn't worry if you're watching this and you're a newer player. This distinction between semi-open files and open files is less important than understanding what a closed file is. If you put a rook on a file that contains one of your pawns, particularly if that pawn is on its initial square, that's often a bad place for the rook just because the rook is literally staring at one of your pawns. In a semi-open file,
To my boy Daniel Naroditsky. That was some great advice there. I'm ready to get a game in and get to 9. I ain't even playing with nobody. Well, I'm playing, but on Dunk 24. We're doing a lot of America today. I love it. Shout out to everybody in America getting to it, man. So fun out here, man. Let's get to it, baby. Let's get it, baby. Let's get it, baby. We going to 8:45. Trey, he want to do a lot of. He wanted to open stuff up. I don't want to. I don't want you to do what you want to do. I'm not letting you do what you want to do. Sorry. Sorry. All right, now you can do what you want to do. Let's go, man. It's a good game. Now let's do what I want to do. Now let's do what I want to do. Let's do what I want to do. Yeah. Yeah. I don't even know why I'm going there for. Good move. Good move. Um, hmm. You're gonna go here and try to get my queen. I knew it. I literally knew it. Um, nope, you're not getting me in a fork, buddy. You're not getting me in a fork, buddy. What can I do? What can I do? Here. Oh, I'm gonna lose something. I'm gonna lose this piece. Um, gonna lose that piece. Good move. Gonna lose something, at least get in better position, right? That will be the first blunder. Oh, we going for checkmate, dog. We going for. No, we're not. No, we are not. Damn. Damn. Ah. That hurts so bad. Checkmate. Uh, bruh. I could cook this guy, bro. Rematch me, bro. Let's go. All right, let's go. I'm cooking you this game, bro. Now you ain't playing with me like I'm a little boy. Stop playing with me, bro. Stop playing with me, bro. For real, for real. Let's go. Got me, though. That was a good game. Shout out to Pawn Dunk. Shout out to Pawn Dunk. Shout out to Pawn Dunk. I like the energy. Let's go. Yeah. Yeah, I like the energy. It's okay. Mm-hmm. Ah, that can't be that good. Take that piece, your queen. Oh, thank God. You are tripping, Troy. Good save. Good save, bro. You dead was about to lose your queen, bro. Check. Oh. Okay. Okay. Let's go one more time, bro. All right, I'm tired, man. I'ma chill out. I got cooked. Shout out to my boy Torque. I mean, no, Pawn Dunk. He came up on me. Pause. Yeah, I'm tired, man. I'm out of here. But this was another episode of the Chess Lounge. We had a good time. We watched some games. I'm tired. So peace out, man. I'm at 822. I'm on the road to 900. What else? At 835? Lost 2 games. It's all good. I'm gonna do a couple offline games. And we're gonna be back better than ever. Appreciate the love. Y'all tap in. I got mosquito bites. That's why I'm over there. So, I appreciate the love, man. Y'all go ahead and tap in with your boy, man. Discipline or die. The Royal Chess Lounge. Have a good night.